So entire 42 shlokas will be showing in the picture form. So this will cover the complete Bhagavad Gita. So this is specially made for the students. So it is very easy to understand through the slideshow. So Prabhupada explains, one picture speaks 1,000 words. So based on that, so today we'll be showing you this thing, 10th chapter, Opulence of the Supreme Lord. So basically this chapter is entitled as the Opulence of the Supreme Lord. So the title itself makes opulence. So in the first shloka in Purport, Prabhupada explains opulence, what exactly means opulence. So he quotes Parashar Muni. So here, this chapter, Krishna basically he explains all his vibhutis. All his vibhutis is explaining to Arjuna. So by which we can understand Krishna's all the powers and his vibhutis. Our Acharya Sridhar Swami, he explains that we are always curious to know more and more things. Like children, they are always curious of knowing so many things. So similarly, material world, if one wants to know the Lord, so we can know the Lord through many things. So here, because Arjuna, he is inquisitive, how he can know the Lord, how in different things he can see the Lord. So depending on that, Krishna is showing his opulences. So the first Prabhupada quotes in the first shloka itself, Parashar Muni. So this comes in Vishnu Puran. Aishwarasya samagrasya virasya yashashriya jnana vairagyasya channa bhag iti guna. That means the Lord means the Supreme Personality of God has defined by Parashar Muni as one who is full in 6 opulences, who has full strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty and renunciation. So Krishna, if we see in Bhagavad Gita, Vyasdev, he quotes Krishna only as Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Also there are Dhritarashtra, then Sanjay, Arjuna, he explains by their name. But when it comes to Krishna, he explains Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. So this chapter is called Aishwarya, the opulence of the Supreme Lord. So here, also in Bhagavad Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami gives exact definition of Bhagavan. So what he explains, the word Bhagavan, it is broken into 3 letters, Bhaga, 4 letters, Bhagavan. So he explains Bha means it has 2 meaning, one who fully maintains, and the second is guardian. Then second syllable Ga means guide, or leader or creator. Then the third syllable and fourth, Van means indicates that every being lives in him and that he also lives in every being. In other words, the transcendental sound Bhagwan represents infinite knowledge, potency, energy, opulence, strength and influence, all without a tinge of material inability. So this is what the actual, now you can press. So here what we see in Bhagavad Sandarbha, okay, again. In Bhagavad Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami explains the exact the meaning of word Bhagavan. So we should know that here Krishna, he will be after the 16th shloka. So Krishna will be explaining about his vibhutis. As I told you before, that Vishnu Puran, it explains the 6 opulences of the Lord. And now this chapter is divided into 4 parts. What you see, the first part is 1 to 7. Krishna is the origin of everything. Okay? So shloka number 1 to 7 is Krishna is origin of everything. Then further from shloka 8 to 11, you read, that is called, you heard Chatushloki Gita. Then from verse 12 to 18, that is Arjuna's acceptance and his request. Arjuna accepts Krishna as the Supreme and he requests Krishna to show his opulences. And from verse 19 until 42, Krishna's opulences. what we see, Krishna will be explaining various opulences to Arjuna. So here, this is made into 4 parts. Now, we'll go with the first verse. So because time doesn't permit us to go beyond the time. So what I'll do, so I'll try to wind up within 40 minutes. Now we have 40 minutes time. So I'll just try to cover all the 42 shlokas in just 40 minutes time. Fine. So the first shloka begins with the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen, O mighty arm Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So Bhagavad Gita explains 3 kinds of knowledge. Guhya, Guhyatara, Guhyatamam. Guhya, Guhyatara, Guhyatamam. So this is topmost knowledge, what now Krishna is explaining. Knowledge, then further it is in the 3rd category, it comes most confidential knowledge. Guhyataram is most confidential knowledge. So now Krishna starts explaining neither the demigods nor the sages. Anyone knows how many demigods are there? 33 million. How many sages are there? 7 million. 7 million rishis are there. Know my origin or opulence. They can't understand Krishna's origin or opulence. Fine. Then in every respect, I am source of the demigods and the sages. So we should know Krishna is in 15th chapter what we see, Krishna further he explains that Parapitamaha. Parapitamaha means he is the father of Brahma. Parapitamaha means Brahma is called Pitamaha, but Krishna is explained as Parapitamaha. So Krishna explains, he who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme lord of all that world, he, only undiluted among men, is freed from all sin. This is what is the qualification. Then further Krishna explains what all the things come from Krishna. This is a good list we should know. We should never think that the intelligence created by our mind. So Krishna explains intelligence, knowledge, doubt and delusion, freedom from doubt and delusion, truthfulness, forgiveness, control of senses, mind control, happiness, unhappiness, fearlessness, birth, fear and death, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me. So what Krishna explains, whatever these qualities are mentioned before, these are created by Krishna. We should understand these qualities, they are exclusively created by Krishna. Also 15.15 Krishna explains Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes knowledge, forgetfulness and remembrance. 3 things. So this what we explained before, it comes from Krishna. It is created by Krishna explains me alone. Then Krishna further explains 7 sages. Now in every Manvantara there are 7 sages. Fine. So here one group of sages, Kashyapa, Vaishishta, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Jandagni, Atri and Bhardwaj. So these are the 7 sages. So every Manvantara, in one day of Brahma there are 14 Manvantara. There are change of demigods and the Saptarishis they are also changed. Okay. Then Krishna explains before them the 4 Kumaras. So now these 4 Kumaras, they are born from the mind of Krishna. So not Krishna, Brahma. What we see in the olden time, Satyuga, it is mentioned that people need not to copulate, husband and wife to beget children. Just by touching wife, the husband could get children. So it is mentioned here, Brahma, just by his mind, mental thinking he created. Most of the thing what we see, they have come from Brahma's different part of the body. It is not that Brahma married, then he did the progeny. It is not like that. So the Saptarishis, then before that is 4 Kumaras, Narada, many others, the Prajapatis, they are all created by Brahma. Okay, these are the 4 Kumaras, Sanat, Sanatan, then Sanatan, Sanand and Sanatan. These are 4 Kumaras. Then Manu's progenitors of mankind also come from me. So there are 14, as I told, 14 Manus in the day of Brahma. So we will not go in detail. These are the 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. So these Manus, in one day of Brahma, there are 1000 Chaturyugas in one day of Brahma. So one Manu gets a cycle of 72 Chaturyugas. One Manu gets a cycle of 72 Chaturyugas. Then Krishna explains, all are born from my mind. They are all born from Krishna's mind. All the living beings populating various planets descend from them. Them means from Brahma, then his creation, whatever he creates, Prajapatis, and from them everything comes. All 84 lakh species of life, they are further born. All of you are getting? Okay. Then further, one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind, what he does? Engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. So this Prabhupada, he used this word unalloyed. You know what is alloy? It's pure steel. Nowadays people want everything pure. So unalloyed means not going to other demigods and all. Only pure 100% Krishna consciousness. So further Krishna explains, I am the source of all spiritual and material world. We should know Krishna is the source of spiritual. That is the material world called Ekapad Vibhuti and spiritual world called Tripad Vibhuti. So then further Krishna explains, everything emanates from me. Okay. So now what we see, there are 6 kinds of incarnations of the Lord. So from Krishna, the first expansion is Swayam Prakash, Balram. And from Balram, all the Purush avatar. Then there is a Leela avatar, Yuga avatar, Manvantara avatar. Then there is a Guna avatar and Shaktavesh avatar. These are the 6 categories of avatars. Okay. So everything that comes from Krishna. The wise who perfectly know this engages in my devotional service. Krishna explains, the wise who knows this, they engage in devotional service of Krishna. And worship me with all their hearts. So Krishna here he is explaining about Ananya Bhakti. Especially from 8th chapter, Krishna explains Ananya Bhakti. This word Ananya comes in Bhagavad Gita many places. So what we see, what we do here, same devotional service, it is there in the spiritual world. So then now Shloki Gita, now we come here. So Krishna further explains that the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Then further, their lives are fully devoted to my service. So Prabhupada explains, a person in Krishna consciousness, he can engage in various types of services. From painting, cleaning the temple, cooking, taking care of children, driving, distributing books, all these various services. So they are basically related or surrendered to Krishna, and they are offering all these services for Krishna. Then Krishna explains that they derive great satisfaction and bliss. In what? They derive great satisfaction and bliss in what? Enlightening one another. In material world, what we see today, people have so many of their networks. They have their information gathering. Nowadays there is a WhatsApp. People have their own groups. Also many companies, they have their own software. So all the people in material world, what we see, they have their own groups and many other things. And they are gathering their intelligence through different medias. It is going on. Nowadays, like people, it is mentioned that every 5 minutes people look at mobile, especially in cities. Every 5 minutes. That is the average. So, but whereas the devotees of the Krishna, what do? They are always enlightening each other. In what? Just glorifying the Lord, about the pastimes of the Lord. Then they are conversing about the Lord, about the Lord's glories. We see the 6 Goswamis, they used to meet in Radha Damodar, and they used to speak about different leelas. So this is what the pure devotees they do. Then those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, Krishna explains, Dadami Buddhi Yogam. I give them understanding by which they can come to me. If you see in Brad Bhagavatamrit about the story of Gopakumar, he goes to different places, and different places he gets different feedback. Then ultimately Narad Muni explains about to him how he can go back home to spiritual world. So this way, here what we see, Krishna gives us the intelligence. If we once get connected in devotional service, so then Krishna further he takes care. Like if you join the defense forces, so from the day one you join, so you are under their care, from medical, from food, from clothing, everything they are responsible for you till the time you leave this world. They take, even when you retire, they give the pension like that. So this way, what we see, Krishna gives us the Dadami Buddhi Yogam. He gives the intelligence by which we can come back to Krishna, back home. So then Krishna explains, to show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, show them special mercy. So what we see, Krishna is seated, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddeshu Arjuna Tishtati. So in all species of life, Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. So destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. What we see, material world, Om Ajnana Timirandasya, what we see, we are born in ignorance, and by the mercy of our spiritual master, he opened our eyes. So also in the scripture it is quoted that Tam Soma Jyotir Gamaya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. So one has to come from darkness to light. So Krishna explains that with the shining lamp of knowledge. So Krishna explains that the fire of knowledge, he explains in the 5th chapter, that destroys all the ignorance, and one comes to know his real identity with the Lord. Now Arjuna is asking the Lord. Arjuna, he explains, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. So now Arjuna is not just canvassing Krishna. He is conversant to all the scriptures, and he explains that in the past all the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala and Vyasa, all they have accepted, and they confirm this truth about you. Now we have our acharyas, what we say, Mahajana Enagatasya Pantha. In the Mahabharata there is one nice verse, Dharmasya Tattvam Nihito Gohayam. In material world what we see today, there are so many people, they are propagating devotional service the way they like. They have their own concoction. But we should know that this knowledge comes in the parampara system. Sampradayana Vinaste Mantraste Nishvalamati. It is mentioned that if we don't get the knowledge in Sampradaya, that's why Krishna explains Evam Parampara Praptam Evam Rajarshyo Vidu. So Arjuna explains, now you yourself are declaring this unto me, and O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. And now Arjuna is accepting whatever Krishna has told before, and further, neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. What we see in Krishna Leela from day 7, Krishna, when he was 7 days old, Putna came, okay? Then after that, so many demons Krishna killed. The last demon who came to Vrindavan, anyone knows who was the last demon who came to Vrindavan? Keshi, yes, Keshi was the last demon. So also we see Brahma, he got Brahma Vimon Leela. Brahma, he got bewildered. Even what we see, Indra, he was thinking he is more powerful. Indra, he had that pride. So this way what we see, the topmost demigods from Brahma to Indra, they also, Krishna here, Arjuna explains that they also cannot understand him. So here what we see, that even the demigods, there are many other categories of demigods like Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Kimpurusha, Siddhas. So all this we can include in one sense. They can't understand Krishna. So only by, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya ma abhijanati. Only by unalloyed pure devotional service we can understand Krishna. Then further Arjuna explains, indeed you alone know yourself by your own internal potency. Now Arjuna explains that Krishna only can explain about himself. Like Prabhupada gives one nice example. If you want to know about one book, you should ask the author. Okay? Now if we want to know Gita, so we have to follow the way Krishna has told it. Like somebody was telling, there was one very famous book, but the book was given a different name. But the main hero in that book was a different person. So it should not be like that. When if you want to know something, then you have to approach the right person. He can give you the right knowledge. So then Arjuna explains, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of God, Lord of the universe, please tell me in detail of all your divine opulences. Now here Krishna, he is just requesting, Arjuna is requesting Krishna just to show his divine opulences, by which you pervade all these worlds, not this our tiny world. There are so many galaxies, different universes. Then, O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? So what I told before, Sridhar Swami explains that in material world, from morning, 24 hours, we can see Krishna in different aspects. In one thing, in one sense, we can see Krishna in all the things in material world. So then again Arjuna explains, in what various forms are you to be remembered? Again Arjuna is inquiring, in which various forms one can remember Krishna. How shall I know you? Again Arjuna, he is putting these all questions. O Janardhan, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. Arjuna is requesting the Lord. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for more I hear, more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Arjuna, he is not satisfied just hearing little thing. He wants to hear more and more. So now, next all the verses what we see here, whatever will come, Krishna will explain about all his vibhutis. So Lord Krishna explains, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. What we see in this material world, whatever people have opulence, today, especially today's world, people have paper money. It has no value. In the olden time, all the kings, their treasuries were full with gold, silver, many kinds of pearls, other things. But today all the governments, what they have, just they have printing machine and they can print countless currencies. So now you can understand here, Krishna is explaining, I will just give you a small aspect, a small thing of my energies. Like if you see a big city, how a big city is being, in the night, especially if you see the city, it is glittering. There is light everywhere, neon lamps, all the houses, hotels, roads, everywhere you will see light. It is being completely lighted by so many lights. But that light, it is generated in one powerhouse, and that light is coming through the different wiring system, and that way that light is giving complete this thing to the city, complete power supply. So here Krishna, he is giving very few examples. He is explaining, I will tell you only few important of my vibhutis. So first Krishna explains, I am the super soul. We should know. No other demigod claims that they are super soul. Although people are foolishly worshipping them, and no demigod claims that yes, he is a super soul for his devotee. No, not like that. So then Krishna explains, I am seated in everyone's heart. Now we can't say he is not seated in Christian's heart, Muslim's heart. Krishna is seated only Vaishnava's heart. Not like that. Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. Then I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. So we should know in material world, everything has a beginning, everything has a middle, and everything has an end. So especially in this creation of material world, what we see, especially Brahma he creates, Vishnu he maintains, and Lord Shiva, when time comes, Lord Shiva destroys everything. So further Krishna explains of Adityas, I am Lord Vishnu. Then of lights, I am the radiant sun. So now we can't imagine the size of the sun. Anyone knows what is the size of the sun? Our scientists only can calculate. They can just guess. They may say light years, so many other things. It is not. It is beyond our mental this thing to measure the exact size and weight of the sun. It is mentioned that the sun is million times bigger than the earth. And now you can imagine. A million times means how many times bigger? We can't imagine. Then Krishna further explains, of Maruts, I am Marichi, the controller of wind. So now we see material world, the wind is blowing. It is not blowing on its own. Somebody is there to blow the wind. And among the stars, I am the moon. Krishna explains. The moon is also counted as star. So in our galaxy, anyone knows how many stars are there? How many billion stars? I forgot the number. There is some X number is given. Then Krishna explains of the Vedas, I am Sam Veda. There are 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda and Athar Veda. Among the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Then Krishna explains of the senses, I am the mind. Our body is made of how many senses? Anyone knows? We have working senses, knowledge gathering senses. Our body is made of, there are Pancha Mahabhuta, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Gyanendriya, then Pancha Tanmatra. So, but the mind is the commander of everything. By the mind only we do everything. Then in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. This is what is lacking in material science. They can't understand what is gone from the dead body. When Prabhupada went to America, so he said, are you doing something research on consciousness? So consciousness, what Prabhupada explains, consciousness is the symptom of the soul. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. This is a very simple definition. Consciousness is the symptom of the soul. So once the soul has left the body is just lying down. So we should know, here Krishna, Prabhupada writes in bracket, in all the living beings, Krishna is the living force. That is the consciousness. So when the super soul is gone, the soul also will leave the body. Even if the soul and super soul, they are together. We should always know. It is not that the soul has left the body and the super soul is still there in the body. That doesn't happen. Okay? Once a soul leaves the body, it doesn't mean that the super soul is there. They are together always. Then among the Rudras, there are 11 Rudras. When this material world comes to an end, Lord Shiva has another manifestation called Rudra. So he expands into 11 and he destroys this material world. Then among the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kubera. Then of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. Then among the mountains, there are different categories of mountains. Krishna explains, I am Meru mountain. Then of the priest, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brahaspati. So Brahaspati is the spiritual master of all the demigods. Then of the generals, I am Kartikeya. Kartikeya is the son of Lord Shiva. He is the general for all the demigods. Then among the bodies of water, I am ocean. Now there are so many oceans. Okay, let's go. There are 7 kinds of ocean surrounding 7 islands. So we are in Jambudweep. We are enclosed by an ocean of salt. Okay. Then the second ocean is Plakshadweep, there it is a sugar cane juice. The ocean is of sugar cane juice. Then Shalmali Dweep, the ocean is made of liquor. Then Kusha Dweep, the ocean made of ghee. Now you can imagine where to go, okay? So now Krauncha Dweep, the ocean is made of yogurt. Then the sixth, the Saka Dweep, is a milk ocean. Then the seventh is Pushkara Dweep, freshwater ocean. So these are the 7 oceans of 7 islands. They are surrounded by all this. And for sure you should know you are in Jambudweep, okay, which is covered by salt ocean. Then of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. So all of you know this story. This Bhrigu Muni, he went to test who is the supreme among Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. We will not go in detail about the story. Then of the vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Okay. So now this Om also has different meanings. Om also has so many different meanings are given for. But this is the syllable Om. Krishna explains that I am the transcendental Om. Then of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy name. Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. So this applies for Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So there is no expense. And only this holy name is bona fide for this Kali Yuga. Then Krishna explains, among the immovable things, I am Himalayas. So if you see Himalayas, they are immovable. They are more than 7 to 9 meter tall. Then among the trees, Krishna explains, of all trees, I am the banyan tree. Ashwat, 15th chapter, the first verse begins. So again, among the sages and demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, so there is one lok called Gandharva, Gandharlok, one of Radharani's name is Gandharvika. There people, their voice is very sweet. They are very sweet singers. The Gandharva lok, the people they can fly, they don't need any aeroplane. They can, from one place they can fly to another place. So they are most beautiful people also. They are very good singers, Gandharvas. Then among the perfected beings, I am the sage Kapila. Them of horses know me to be Uchchaishrava. So in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a ocean churning of the ocean in the 4th chapter. So Krishna, here it is mentioned, while churning the ocean, how many things came out? Anyone knows? 14 things came out. So in that Lakshmi is all there, moon is there. Then in the end what came? Nectar. What came? The nectar. In the end the nectar came. Okay. Then also one elephant. This also came from the churning of the ocean. It is called Airavat. It was taken by Indra. Then Krishna explains, among this thing, men I am monarch. Then of weapons I am thunderbolt. So this weapon the demigods they made with the bone of one sage called Dadichi. What you see in the lightning in the rainy season, so that thunder is different from what Indra has a weapon. So it is called Vajrastra. Then Krishna explains, among cows I am the Surabhi. So in spiritual world, what Krishna tending the cows, they are called Surabhi Abhipalayantam. Brahma explains in Brahma Samhita that Krishna is tending the cows in the spiritual world, and these cows are very special cows and they give such nectar milk. It is like there is no need of even heating that milk, and these cows are very beautiful cows. Then Krishna explains of causes for procreation, I am Kandarpa, the love of the god of love. Then among serpents, Krishna explains, I am Vasuki. Then of many hooded Nagas, Krishna explains, I am Ananta. Then among all aquatics, I am the demigod Varuna. Jalaja Navalakshani. There are 9 lakhs of aquatics. Then of departed ancestors I am Aryama, and among dispensers of law I am Yama, the lord of death. So we should know, material world, those who are not doing devotional service, so they will be taken by Yamdutas. There are 2 kinds of Dutas. One is Vishnu Dutas and second category is Yamdutas. So it is mentioned that Yamraj has main 28 hells. In the 5th canto it is mentioned, and there are also subcategories of hells for all the living entities, especially those who are in the human form, who are not following all these regulatory principles. Then among the Daityas, demons, Krishna explains is Prahlad. Then among subduers I am time. This is very important. Krishna quotes this 2 times. So we should know that time in material world, there are so many definitions given about time. Time is money. Time and tide waits for none. Time is running. So there is in Niti Shastra, there is one nice verse. Kala pachati bhutani, kala samharte praja, kala supteshu jagrati, kala hi durita krama. That means the time digests everyone. When we are sleeping, the time is going on. Your alarm clock will not go off. It will be, otherwise you will never get up. So it is mentioned that when we are sleeping, the time is going on. Kala supteshu jagrati, kala hi durita krama. It is very difficult to subdue time. In material world, what we see, especially in the Bhagavatam, from 1st canto until 12th canto, it is completely, there is a mention in every canto, there is a mention of time, and another thing is the lotus feet of the Lord. So the time is very powerful. Material world, we should know time. Krishna explains that I am time. I have come here to devour all except you 5 Pandavas. Here Krishna in the 11th chapter next, he explains that he has come in the form of time. Kala Rupa is also, the time is given different definition. Time is also called Kala Sarpa. Sarpa means snake. The snake of time. This way, here Krishna explains that he is time. Then among beasts, Krishna explains that I am lion. Among birds, I am Garuda. Then of purifiers, I am wind. So there are different varieties of wind, but in our body, we should know there are 10 kinds of wind in our body. There are 10 kinds of wind called Prana, Apana, Samana, Udana, Vyana, Naga, Karkara, then Kurma, Devadatta and Dhananjay. These are the first basic 10 winds. Then among wielders of weapons, Krishna explains that I am Ram. Then among fishes, I am the shark. Among the flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Of all creations, I am the beginning, the middle and also end. Krishna explains. Then further, O Arjuna, of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self. So Krishna explains that he is the spiritual science of the self. Among the logicians, I am conclusive truth. So as I told before, in material world there are so many logicians. They are giving so many logic. Tarko pratishta shutoyo bhinnam. So what we see in today's material world, there are so many theories. They keep changing. Either it is Darwin's theory or theory of creation or Big Bang theory. So whatever you see, any theory, it keeps changing. Material world. So but Krishna explains among the logicians, Krishna is the conclusive truth. That means what Krishna has told is the real truth. Then of the letters, I am letter A. So now among the compound words, I am the dual compound. In Sanskrit, when 2 words they are joined, that's called dual compound. Sama samskar, it is a big word. Sama iti akara iti samskar. So when words are joined together, that is called dual compound. Okay. Then I am the eternal time. Again Krishna explains that I am eternal time. In Bhagavad Gita we have these 5 topics: the Supreme Lord, the living entity, then time. These are eternal. Then this creation, then karma. Karma is not permanent. So time is also energy of Krishna. In the Bhagavatam it is mentioned that how the time is created by the Lord for the living entities to enjoy in this material world. There is an interaction between the creation and the living entities. So the time, what it is doing, it is giving them time to enjoy their senses for the living entities, and there is an interaction between the material nature and the living entities who are enjoying in various different species of life. So the time was created, it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam 2nd canto, for the enjoyment of the living entities. Okay, in material world, the time is divided into 8 parts. Now in material world, we have modern big thinkers. They have divided time into 8 parts. So they explain the biggest time is 1 year. What they explain? It is important for a student. Then second biggest time is 1 month. It is important for a pregnant lady. Then third biggest time is 1 week. It is important for a weekly editor. Then there's a fourth biggest time is 1 day. It is important for a daily wage labor. Then 1 hour. Then secret lovers. After 1 hour, 1 minute. It is for daily commuter. After 1 minute, there is 1 second. That is important those who drive the vehicle. The accident can take place in 1 second. Then 1 microsecond. It is important for an athlete who is running on your mark, get set. They are practicing for 5 years to go to the Olympics to get some medal. But we should know we have got 1 lifetime, and Prabhupada told, give this lifetime to Krishna consciousness. That we should know. That time is although eternal, but we have got this 1 lifetime. Then further, among the creators, I am Brahma. Krishna explains. So we'll just fast forward. Krishna explains, I am all devouring death. Mrityu sarva harasya chaham. Then I am the generating principle for all that yet to be. Whatever is about to come, Krishna is the generating principle. And among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness and patience. Then of the hymns in the Samaveda, I am the Brahsama. Among poetry, Krishna explains, I am Gayatri. Then among all the months, I am spring. So there are 6 seasons. Hemanta, Shishira, Vaishaka, Grishma, Varsha and Sharad. These are the 6 seasons. So Krishna is the flower bearing spring. That is November, December. Then further Krishna explains, I am also the gambling of cheats. Of splendid, I am the splendor. So we should know whatever is splendid, which is very colorful, Krishna. The sun, it is giving energy to all the living entities, especially on this earthly planet. And Krishna explains, I am victory, I am adventure. Further, I am the strength of the strong. Of the descendants of Vishnu, I am Vasudeva. Of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa. Then among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Then among all means of suppression, I am lawlessness, I am the punishment. Among those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence. This is a very interesting. This is, we should try to understand what Krishna is explaining here. Of secret things, I am silence. That means, if you want to achieve something in material world, you should keep everything, your agenda secret. Otherwise, your opponents will put you down. Okay? So, Krishna explains, of secret things I am silence. That means, whatever you are going to achieve, you should never speak before your, especially opponents, what you are going to do. So then, among the wise, I am the wisdom. So here, Can anyone tell who is this person? Yes. What he explains, I was born intelligent. Education ruined my life. Then furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. So now we should know, in material world we are born in 4 ways. Bijam, Andam, Garbham and Shvedam. Bijam means by seeds, Andam means by eggs, Garbham means by we are taking birth in the womb of a mother, and Shvedam means this like we get sweating. So Shvedam means by sweating also many bacteria, many living entities, they are created. Especially when the rainy season comes, so the earth, what happens? It is hot, it becomes little cool, and with the rainy season you will see so many insects, they are born. They are born from the sweating of the earth. Okay, for them there is no seed. They are born. Now you will see, you will not find much insects now off seasons. But when the rainy season comes, you will find so many varieties of insects coming out. Chaturmas, what we see. Then Krishna explains, there is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. So we can imagine the material world. There is, if Krishna is not there in somebody's body or heart, that thing can't exist. That is what Krishna explains here. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. So now Krishna is just giving just one glitter, one small speck of what his complete opulence is. Krishna explains, this is milk ocean, what you see here. What I have spoken to you is but a merry indication of my infinite opulences. So when you go to sweet shops, especially in India, so people ask for sample, give this sample, give that sample. You want to taste. So here just Krishna is giving some sample. Krishna explains a merry indication of my infinite opulences. So it is not so easy to understand Krishna's opulences. So Krishna explains, know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from me, but a spark of my splendor. So what we see, like about 30-40 years back, the technology was not so much advanced. So there was a player called gramophone. There used to be a one big chapati like thing. It is called LP. Now today we have, microchip. Can you imagine? Nobody could have thought like 40 years back, 30 years back, such thing can happen. After that we came to cassette, then we came to CD, DVD, then pen drive. Now we have small memory, this thing. And that also has such a big vast memory. So in material world, through technology also we can see so many things are happening. And for Krishna, because everything is coming from Krishna, that is for sure. So what Krishna explains, but what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So this is the real truth Krishna explains to Arjuna. So in material world, Prabhupada explains, the scientist, a day will come and they may go to Garbha, the ocean, and they may find that yes, Lord Vishnu is lying there. A day will come. Prabhupada never told when that date will come. And then they will come to know, yes, something is coming from the pores of Mahavishnu. And nowadays they are giving us only post-dated check. We are taking you to the moon, then Mars. Now their moon expedition stopped. Now they are going to Neptune, Mars, like that. So they are not going beyond this universe by any means. So that's why Prabhupada, he wrote long back, easy journey to other planets. So what Prabhupada explains, in the other bygone ages, people like Arjuna, he went to Indraloka. That was possible. But today's Kali Yuga, it is not possible that we can go in this self-same body. So I'll just quote Sridhar Swami and we'll end the class. So Sridhar Swami explains that that it is better to see him existing everywhere, within every living being, What purpose is served by knowing all these facts separately when he alone pervades and sustains the total material creation with just one fraction of himself? There is nothing existing beyond Lord Krishna. Then he quotes Rig Veda. Because the mind is continuously runs after external objects in its pursuit of pleasure through senses. Lord Krishna enjoins everyone to try to see him everywhere in everything, and thus in this chapter he has magnanimously stated in brief his vibhuti or divine transcendental opulence. So Hare Krishna. So anyone has any question? So we just gave you the just in brief about what Krishna explains in this chapter, the opulence of the Supreme Lord. So anyone has any comment, question? This is mic, एक mic दे दो. अरे, there's an extra mic. नहीं.
Firstly, thank you for such a brilliant summary of this chapter. What is the brief story of Bhrigu? I don't know that story. And who is Usana?
Who is?
Usana?
Ushana. Kavi. So there are so many poets. So there's one poet by name Ushana Kavi. And Bhrigu Muni, this story comes in one Puran. Like one time all the sages, they were doing a yajna. And they were offering oblations, ahuti. But Narada, he came and he asked, whom you are offering these oblations? Do you know who's the Supreme Lord? They said, we don't know. Then Narada, he said, there are only three Supreme Lords, Ishwaras, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So if you want to know who is the Supreme, then you have to go and test them, test their patience. So this way, all the sages, they selected Bhrigu Muni to go and test. So Bhrigu Muni is son of Narada. He came to the court of, he is son of Brahma. He came to the court of Brahma. So he didn't offer Dandvat to Brahma. Actually, it is an etiquette for a son to offer Dandvat to his father. So Brahma, he became very angry. His face lit up. But he didn't speak. He just withheld the anger. So he could make out Brahma is in the mode of passion. Okay, he has the anger, but he is not manifesting. Then from there, Bhrigu Muni, he went to Kailash, he went to Lord Shiva. So Shiva came running just to embrace him because he is a brother of Shiva. But he said, come on, you dirty man, just stay behind. So Shiva, he became very wild. He wanted to kill him with his trident. Somehow Parvati said, no, he is your brother, let him go. So he could understand Shiva, he came to the second degree. Brahma, it came in the mind. Shiva, it came to the third degree, Then further he went to Vaikuntha. There Lord Vishnu was lying in his Yog Nidra and Lakshmi was massaging his feet. So now he came and he just hit on the chest of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu, he didn't react. Then he gradually opened his eyes and he welcomed him and he told, I think you are not hurt in your feet. Let me massage your feet. So then he could understand, oh yes, this is the Supreme Lord. So he was being deputed by all the sages to know who is the Supreme Lord. That is Bhrigu Muni.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Jai Bhagavad Gita ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. Hare Krishna.